We're with Julia DePoi, one of the senior members of the Eastern Connecticut women's basketball team. Eastern getting ready to open its season on Wednesday, November 16th, with a home game hosting Fisher College. Julia, you guys had a long preseason, as you always do, and you got a lot of new faces on this team. How, in general, did the preseason go?
I would say it definitely went well. It went a little differently than expected. In previous years, we've had 3 to 5 recruits every year coming in, and a lot of upperclassmen, sophomores, juniors, and seniors. This year, we only have 3 seniors, 3 juniors, and 1 sophomore who happens to be a transfer, so she hasn't played at Eastern, and then 9 freshmen. So the freshmen outnumber the seniors. So it's harder than in previous years to set the example and to lead the team. So I think it was a little bit harder and different than it has been in the past, but I don't think that is a negative thing. I think that it's just different, but I think that it's gone really well. The freshmen and the underclassmen have stepped up huge. They're all taking roles as if they aren't freshmen. They're ready, they're confident, and I think that as leaders, we've been doing a good job in showing them what kind of level we have to play at and what kind of level we have to play for Coach Beerley. But I do think it was a little different than the past, but like I said, not in a bad way.
Well, when you saw the freshmen, your first couple of practices, could you see in their eyes, like maybe some of them, it was so new to them that maybe initially they could have been a little bit overwhelmed?
Definitely. I think coming off of a high school program, the level to which you have to play at a collegiate level is so different, and even practices. I think that certain high school players come from certain programs with coaches where they are ready. Whereas even me, as a freshman when I came in, my high school program wasn't one of the best in the state. I went to, the public school in my hometown. So I think that it was definitely overwhelming for me, but I had tons of upperclassmen to look to ask questions to. So I could see as for underclassmen that had similar high school experiences as me, it could be super overwhelming because they're with a bunch of freshmen that have the same experiences. So I think that they could have definitely been nervous. I think that they could have been overwhelmed by the level that we play at, the drills that we have to do, the length of practice even, Coach Beerley's expectations of us. So I definitely think it could have been overwhelming. But I do think they've stepped up well, and I think they've stepped up hard. And I think that they have shown that even if they don't necessarily have it right now, they definitely have the potential to have it,
You'll see a big difference in freshmen from the beginning of the year to even like maybe the semester break, right?
100%, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that even for me, Coach Beerley will say to anyone that leaving for winter session my freshman year was like something, she said something clicked in my brain. So I came off of, like I said, a weaker high school program, and then I came in here, and I was always, the top scorer of my team from freshman year on. So I think that coming in here, I was like, wow, this is different, this is new. So it takes a little while to adjust to everything, and even to understand Coach Beerley's coaching methods. I mean, she's an amazing coach. She's been here for 26 years. She's been super successful. But you have to be ready for, the toughness she's going to put on you and the expectations she has out of you. Even as a freshman from day one, you're going to have expectations if you're a recruit. So I think that it takes time, and I think winter session is a nice break, especially they'll have scrimmages under their belt, games under their belt, 40 plus practices under their belt, and that they'll have a few weeks to internalize that and see and look within themselves, okay, this is what I need to do. And then they'll have those few weeks to work on their own skills, whether it's shooting, driving, conditioning, defense. They'll understand, okay, this is the role I have on this team, this is the expectation I have for being on this team, and I think that it does. It all comes together a few weeks in, especially around winter session time.
And some of them will adjust, and some of them won't, probably.
Yep,
right?
I mean, that happens every year,
Yeah.
And you have those freshmen that come in super confident and that you can't tell they're freshmen from day one. You have the freshmen that, like I said, it clicks during winter session. Then you have the freshmen that, it's not for them, or it never really comes together.
Yeah.
But I think that over time, everyone can see it, and the people that want to be there will be there, and the people that want to work hard and be on the team will be on the team,
Well, we've talked a lot. You've talked a lot about the freshmen. Let's talk a little bit about the players that are back from last year. Just go through the team a little bit as to talking about the veterans.
Okay, so I think that for seniors we have Jordan Nappy, Alexis Foster, and myself. We all have a lot of experience. Jordan has been starting since her first game her freshman year, and then I started about halfway through freshman year. And then we both have, Jordan didn't start sophomore year because we had a lot of upperclassmen, but she was still a key player and played 20, 30 plus minutes a game. So we have ample experience against all LEC teams. We've played super tough teams out of conference, a lot of NESCAC schools. We've been in the NCAA twice. We got 2 conference championships. So I think we have a lot of experience, and we know, what it takes to be on this team and what it takes to be successful. I also think that our relationships with Coach Beerley are really good. I mean, we've always been close with her and respectful of her, and there's never been any issues between us. So I think that we can take, Coach Bailey's coaching style and show what the underclassmen, what needs to happen. So then you have Lexus Foster, who is going to be a huge key factor for us. She has been, she had some personal things last year where she was out, and then, for her freshman and sophomore year, she played a lot. So she has a lot of experience as well. She never has been one of the top post scorers, but that is going to change this year. But she's always been such a sound fundamental player. Her defense, her rebounding, her screening, everything. And she's also super coachable, and she really wants to be out there, and she's super driven to be on the team. Then you have Kelly Reardon, who's going to come in and start the first game as our point guard. She didn't really play much her freshman year, and then last year she was the sixth man or the point guard sub for Vic Full. But she has a spark to her, a drive, a desire to win. She's a very good player. She plays hard all the time, and she's a good facilitator of the team. She's really good at executing the offense, super good at motivating the team. So I think that she'll be a huge part of it. Then the fifth starter for our opening game will be Kelsey Stantagata, who, like I said, is a sophomore transfer, but she had a semester at Keene under her belt. So I think that she knows what it takes to play at a collegiate level, what it takes to play specifically in the LEC, and she's been super coachable for Coach Beerley, and she is very, very excited about our first game. So I think that the upperclassmen that we have are good leaders, good players, and just good role models in general. We have that relationship with Coach and the program where you need to be respectful, and you need to understand, and you need to be coachable. Half the reason that our team has been successful in the past is that we're the type of players that we listen, we understand, and we know our roles. So the underclassmen will see that. If you're a defensive player, you'll be a defensive player. If you're a top scorer, you'll be a top scorer. If you're the point guard, that you'll need to take shots when it's necessary. That's what you'll do. So I think that we're good role models, and I think that we'll be a very good sound, starting five.
Well, do you think with Kelly Reardon's style and the way she plays was very different than the way Victoria Full played? Not one is not better than the other, but it's just different. Will there be more of an up-tempo? Will you guys be pushing the ball more this year?
Yeah, 100%. Kelly came from a high school program where it was more street ballish, and so she's super, super up-tempo. She wants to push the ball, and she also is a spark. She has a very fiery energy to her on the court and off the court. She will facilitate the team extremely well, and I think she wants to push the ball, but she can also get to the rim, which is good. Vic wasn't huge about getting to the rim. She ran the offense, she executed well. She was a very sound point guard, but like you said, Kelly's just different. She can get to the rim a little harder, which I think will open up more opportunities for Lexus on the weak side or Jordan and I to shoot threes. So I think that she's going to be a huge part of this year, and I think that the style of play will be different, but I think that it's going to be good for the team that we have, because players out there have speed and we have endurance, so we can run the ball a lot more than we have in the past.
Well, the fact that you play for the first semester, you play all your games on the road, except for 2. Does that make any difference at all to the players? I know home court is a big advantage for this team. Yeah,
for sure. Home court is definitely a big advantage, but I think that we have the mental mindset to put that aside and play as hard as we can. Refs can be touchy-feely, but they even can be at home sometimes. You never really know, so that's an external factor that you just have to accept no matter what game it is. You can't change the refs. So the only thing you can change is, you need to get up there and shoot around early. You need to get used to the rims. You need to get used to the lighting in the gym. But once you do that, it's all mental, and it's just the desire to win. You can win anywhere.
Some people would rather play on the road.
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see your game any different? Do you see what the expectations for what you will do on this year's team? Do you see it any different than what it's been in the past, given a young team?
Definitely. In the past, I think that I was relied on mainly for my defense and for Coach will say little plays that I make. The steal that we need, or the offensive rebound that we need.
Block shot
we need. Exactly. So I think that those little things, my defense, my passion and drive to be on the court has been what's gotten me on the court, and that's been my role on the team. However, this year with top scorers graduating, I think that I also need to take on one of the top, scoring roles. As Coach will say, you can't win a game if you don't have 3 or 4 players scoring more than double digits a game.
Yeah.
So I think that will be more of a role. I think last year I averaged maybe like 8 or 9 points a game, which is enough. However, I think this year, getting that up to 12 or 13 will be a huge, important factor for the team. So I have to keep on my defense. I typically guard the best guard on the other team. So that needs to stay the same. I know that's still expected of me. Keep up my boards and everything. But I think that being a bigger offensive threat and adding more dynamic to my offense. In the past, I've been more of a three-point shooter or a standstill shooter. I think that I'm driving to the hole more, even posting up smaller guards more. So I think that adding that offensive edge will definitely make us more successful.
It's really the savvy, the experience that you develop over 3 years, right? If you think back to your freshman year and now think about the things that you can do as a senior.
Right, yeah, it's insane because coming off of high school, you think you can do everything, you can think you can drive, you can shoot, I'm good at everything. Well, you come in and you're like, okay, well, the defense is that much better at the collegiate level, so you need to understand that, and I think I've internalized a lot of things about myself and about my play. Over 4 years, I've changed, I've developed, in high school, I was always more of a driver than a shooter. Then here I realized I needed to be a shooter. Well, I can do all of it, you just have to be willing, and, you need to work on it, and I definitely think that having the experience, it's not like, oh, it's my senior year, this is the first year I'm going to be starting, this is the first year I'm going to be getting minutes. I've been averaging, close to 30 minutes or more since the 9th game of my freshman year. So I have the experience and I know what is expected of me, and I know other players in the LEC and how they play and how they're going to defend me. So I think that is definitely going to be, very helpful to my success.
How great would it be to finish your career having won 3 straight championships? I don't think people understand what you need to do to win a championship.
It would be absolutely amazing. Obviously, it's a goal that we all have in our hearts, and we really want that. It's a long season, as Coach will say. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And the crazy thing about the LEC and pulling out championships is that a lot of times who you play in the championship, or even who plays, isn't the top seeded teams. We played UMass Boston the last 2 years, who weren't ranked, who didn't end number 2.
Exactly.
So you can pull out in those 3 games if you execute on offense, if you get stops on defense, you can come out a champion in the LEC. But also having that regular season championship means a lot to us too, because that proves that we've worked hard all season. We've pulled out W's all season. But the combination of the two really just proves that you have that team chemistry, that drive, the talent, the skills, the hard work. So I think getting a 3rd would be absolutely phenomenal. It's a huge goal for, I know, me as well as the other 2 seniors and the other 2, starters. They want it bad. So I think that the underclassmen haven't fully understood what the LEC is like.
Yeah.
Every game's a battle. Every game's scrap. The matchups are different. Some team is guard heavy. Some teams are post heavy. Some teams like to run. Some teams like to slow it down. So I think that with Coach Beerley, having coached in the LEC for so long, the amount of time we spend working on our defense, the amount of time we spend scouting the other teams and making our practices about getting stops against this team. Our offense always falls together, so I definitely think the key to getting another championship is going to make sure we play that team defense and have that team chemistry. But I think that by, halfway through the second semester, or the second part of the season, we are definitely going to be a top contender in the LEC, and I definitely think we have a shot at winning it.
Yeah, getting that being that number 1 seed and getting the home court. Probably in basketball, home court is more of an advantage than any other sport.
I agree with you 100%.
With your home fans.
And even with home fans, refs, the people, even
sleeping in your own bed.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or the people running event staff, hearing Lee's voice when you shoot a 3, there's nothing more awesome. But yeah, and even getting used to rims, sometimes.
That too, yeah.
Right, you don't want to say that's ever an excuse, but playing at Westcon sometimes is hard because they have that depth perception thing because they're in a huge gym. So it's sometimes real hard to get used to their, you'll see teams, not only our team, but other teams shooting air balls the first couple ones, or, UMass Boston gym is a little bit like that too.
Same thing.
Yeah, so I think that too, just being, I shoot at this hoop every single day, so getting that home court advantage definitely is a big thing, yeah.
So the Warriors are going to start their trek towards a 3rd postseason championship, a 3rd Little East championship. They'll be opening up on Wednesday the 16th, hosting Fisher College at Geisler Gymnasium. Julia, thanks for being with us, and good luck.
Thank you.